Sony have just released their new user interface, and we have gotten to take a good look at what is in store for us. Now, a lot of what the PS5 UI offers is very similar to that of the PS4 and other previous PlayStation consoles, but there are also some significant and very interesting changes. As for the new Xbox, the UI is not fully finished, but we have seen the kind of beta version of it. More updates are sure to come. But Microsoft has given us a basic overview of how the Xbox's UI will operate and all its new functions. So, without further ado, let's look at both systems and compare what's new. So, for the PS5, it's pretty similar to the PS4, except it's essentially more refined. As you can see, there are significant similarities in the home screen to the PS4 with a kind of sleek twist to it. If you have a game selected on the main timeline, then, like the PS4, a whole subcategory will appear giving extra info in that particular game, like who's playing, news, and achievements. But also the ability to load up specific levels or game modes within the game, which is possible thanks to the PS5's new SSD. Though not all games will support that feature. As for the Media tab, Sony have stated that it is entirely separate to the game's timeline, unlike what we see on the PS4, which integrates it all in one. However, the UI trailer didn't showcase that, so as of this moment, we don't know how that looks. If you look at the top area of the home screen, you'll notice that they removed the top tab that was on the PS4 entirely. Instead, what you get is just three options: Search, Settings, and User Profile. Looking at the PS Store, that's no longer a standalone app like on the PS4, but is actually integrated into the system, which is a hell of a nice change to see. That is on the far left of the home screen as expected. So, what we can see from the PS5 home screen is that it's not all that different to the PS4, but is generally much more refined and smoother. It's super cool to see the new and refined gamer UI, but right now we don't know how it's all going to be organized. For instance, on the PS4, games are organized by last played so that the user's more favored games would appear first. With the PS5, it's likely to be the same, but Sony did say that the UI is completely customizable, so whether we can change how games appear, we don't know, but it's more than likely that that will be the case. Over to the control center side of things. Now, this is where the major changes have really happened. By the way, the control center is just the term Sony uses for the screen overlay that pops up with the friends list and stuff like that. On the PS5, the control center now appears as a very unintrusive horizontal banner at the bottom of the screen, with all the same features as the PS4, except with the addition of the switcher tab, which presumably ties into the new feature of being able to switch between multiple games at once. But the main thing here is the new card system, which is basically an elaboration on PS4 notification cards. Cards are small screen overlays that tie into either the games or social functions, such as being invited to the party chat or getting the game invite. And this fixes a big issue a lot of PS4 users had, because now the cards don't have to intrude over the game like before. Instead, you can create a split screen effect, which Sony dubbed as the picture-to-picture function. What this does is creates a separate screen for the cards on one side of the screen while you continue to play the game on the other half. Obviously, you'll have to get close to your screen if this is how you choose to game, but a cool function nonetheless. Now, what's really nice about these cards is that you can always have social info present while playing a game. What's even better is that you can actually use these cards to see your friend's screen while they play, which adds a whole new tactic to team games. Another really cool feature is that you can use the System Control Center to access specific features within any given game. This means you can access certain levels or game modes all through the Control Center. So you literally don't even need the game open to be able to access its unique game features. Though this won't be supported by every single game, because that's up to the developers, though expect more of it over time. With Xbox, this level of usability just isn't there yet. The PS5 seems to be very ease of access oriented, which is very nice to see coming from the chunky PS4 interface. Now, PlayStation were clearly intending to revamp the entire UI experience to be much more user-friendly and fluid. It is a major change from the PS4. So, for the Xbox changes. From the pre-release sample Xbox has shown us, we can see that it's very similar to what we are used to on the Xbox One. And that's expected because Xbox are known to do much smaller tweaks rather than a major revamp like Sony often does. So it's more or less the same. The main difference between Xbox One and the Series X is that everything is oriented horizontally, like a set of timelines that all hold separate Xbox functions. So it has a lot more of a simple approach than the PS5, but that's not to say it is simple at all. In fact, while it definitely looks a whole lot more simple than the Xbox One home screen, it is far from simple. It's very busy, actually. Everything is crammed into one big page rather than being broken up like on the PS5. If you scroll all the way up to the top line of the Xbox home screen, you'll see things such as most recently used, as well as quick access to the games and application library, as well as the Game Pass. Everything below the top line is very unique to new Xbox and is quite interesting. Immediately, you see Entertainment tab, the Store, Game tab, and Favorites list, which is nothing new. But what's so special about this is that these timelines are almost entirely customizable. That's where the Xbox has really changed, in its customization abilities, which they emphasize heavily. With just the touch of a button, a customization menu will appear, which will let you pick which games you want to see, which stuff will be highlighted, and even which kind of categories of timelines you actually want to have on the home screen. Obviously, the standard customization applies as well. Changing colors and the themes. The Xbox Quick Guide is also customizable from what we can see as well, which is Xbox's version of a pop-up control center like the PlayStation has. It is mainly the same as what you'd find on the Xbox One, but with the added benefit of customization. Okay, so with both user interfaces, there is not a proper perspective of what to expect. Right now, we're solely relying on the teaser videos both Sony and Xbox released. But no doubt, as there are more updates to the UI, more info will roll out. But from what we can see so far, it's clear that both systems are focusing on different visual aspects. The PS5 being more streamlined and game-focused with their addition of their new card system. The Xbox Series X, on the other hand, is much more true to its previous systems with a busy home screen. Except this time around, everything is vertical, which is kinda cool. Though, if you had to ask me which system UI is better, I'd say the PS5 hands down, but that is obviously just my opinion. The smoothness of it and its user-centric functionality of the card system is just really, really nice to see. But tell us which UI you prefer in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.